Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nice. So happy to see everybody singing together.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's pay our obeisance to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay. Okay, Mataji, done already. Okay. So the introduction will be read by Loga Ranjani Mataji. Mataji, are you here already? Oh yeah, okay. Okay, Mataji, carry on.
After hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna accepted Krishna as Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahman. Every living being is Brahman, but the Supreme Living Being or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Brahman. Param Dhamma means that he is the Supreme God or abode of everything. Pavitra means that he is pure, untainted by material contamination. Purusha means that he is the supreme enjoyer, Shaswatam, original, Divyam, transcendental, Adidevam, the supreme personality of Godhead, Ajam, the unborn, and Divam, the greatest.
Thank you, Mataji. So I posted a question in the group yesterday. If anybody can relate which sloka is this from Bhagavad Gita, did anybody manage to find? Anyone? So the clue is this sloka. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam, Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum, like this. Anybody? Yes, Shobha Mataji, got it. It's actually 10.12. So in Bhagavad Gita, if you open Bhagavad Gita, the sloka will be put together, 12 and 13 together. So, but this particular passage is based on the 12. Okay. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Saswatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Yes, well done, Prabhu Mataji. So you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. So everything is taken and explained here. So why this is very relevant to the chapter that we're going to do today is we want to know why this knowledge is very special, how it came, from where it came. So all this provides a important platform why Arjuna should have faith in Bhagavad Gita. Of course, Arjuna has faith, but it's for us. Okay, why we should have faith on this Bhagavad Gita? Okay, so just like when we want to buy a book, right? Like my daughter's tuition teacher will say, okay, buy these books, make sure it's Sasbadi or Pelangi. So it's like I'm so used to it. When I go to bookshop, I have to check whether the publisher is Sasbadi or Pelangi. Anything other than that, the tuition teacher doesn't want. So like that, when you want to buy a book for your work or something like that, you want to see whether the publisher is a recognized publisher, the author is a recognized publisher. If for last time economy, right? Whenever I want to buy a book, I want to see whether this is written by Jomo or not, Professor Jomo. If not, I'll be very skeptical. You have to check, okay or not, reliable or not. So like that, we want to see the information, the book or the knowledge that we're going to get is coming from the right source. Okay, my father has used it, my teacher has used it, his teacher has used it, his lecturer has used it, professor has used it. So like that. So it's how important this knowledge to come from the right source. Okay, so that's why this introduction is given here. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we like to quickly recap what we have covered in chapter 3. So remember, Arjuna asked, which is better, renunciation or work? Then Krishna will say, renunciation is work is better than renunciation. So you rather engage in work and renounce the results instead of artificially renouncing. And that's why he said, don't artificially renounce. You cannot sit in the cave and think about what's happening in the house, isn't it? So you rather stay in the house and do your activity. Just as long as you surrender the result to Krishna, you're fine. That's why Krishna is telling, because Arjuna had a thought that he wants to renounce everything and go to the forest for renunciation, right? Because he doesn't want to work for rewards. So Krishna says, you better work with knowledge and detachment. So the karmic reactions does not lie in what you do, but it lies in the consciousness of how you do something. Okay, so that's how Krishna said, instead of doing for reward, of course, Krishna also mentioned you get your enjoyment when you engage yourself in the war. If you fight and you win, you enjoy the earthly kingdom. If you fight and you die in the battlefield, you enjoy the heavenly kingdom. Either way, you're enjoying. But it's better for you to perform karma yoga, nishkama karma yoga. So how to do it? Krishna taught us the art of doing the work. Either you do it as yagya for Vishnu, or if you can't do as yagya for Vishnu, as sacrifice for Vishnu, you can do it as a sacrifice the demigod. So that's where we saw all the rain, how we do, how the sacrifices pleases the demigod, and the demigod provides us the necessities. So it's a cycle that is called cycle of sacrifice. So by doing this, you will set a correct example for the common people. Arjuna, Krishna will say, okay, because even the great personalities in the past have done that, like King Janaka. So that's why you need to do. So what to speak of King Janaka or great personalities or you? I have done it. I am doing it because people will follow what I am doing, even though I am above all these duties. So this one Krishna also will talk about in the later chapter, today's chapter. So the conclusion is, with knowledge, you perform your work and you surrender your results to Krishna, and that is the perfection of this karma yoga. Okay? So therefore Krishna says, fight. Alright, so for us, we don't go out and fight, but we do our prescribed duties, because fighting is Arjuna's prescribed duties. So whatever duty that is given to us, then we have to perform that, okay, with detachment from the results. So it's all about setting our consciousness. Okay, so the last sloka that we did in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 is this: therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. Surrendering to Krishna is the ultimate purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so that's why it's given here, purpose of Bhagavad Gita. So now the example, how do we work with no claims to proprietorship? If you remember, we had this picture in the last week, a person counting this money. So this is a cashier, he's counting lots and lots of money, but the duty prescribed to him is just to count. He cannot claim even 1 cent from that amount of money. For example, a person works as a bank teller. Okay, he receives a lot of money. He handles a lot of money from the customers, but he cannot take 1 cent. Habis Vienna will come after you. You will be charged under Bafia Act. You will be expelled. You will be totally banned, blacklisted from getting a job in bank anymore. It's a very serious offense. Okay, so in 3.30, Krishna says to perform the highest level of karma yoga, which is surrendering all works to Krishna. Okay, you are handling a lot of things, but you cannot claim proprietorship over this. Okay, so how do I do this, Mataji? You know, you can ask. So what do one needs to know to do the above? So what you need to know is you need to know who Krishna is, because you're going to surrender. Oh my God, echo. Okay, let me go out and come back. Yeah. So if not, I don't know how to. Okay, let me go back. Okay, I have made you as a host. Still got it, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. I just leave and come back. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Much better, Mataji.
But it's still there?
No, it's not.
Okay.
For now, it's okay.
Okay, yo, I don't know. I didn't do anything. Okay, where am I? Okay, sorry about the interruption. I don't know how it changes. Okay, so what do we need to know to do the above? We need to know who Krishna is, because if you don't know who is the boss, how do we go and give that money? Somebody say, okay, this money is not yours, you have to go and give the employer. So I want to know who is the employer. So how do you know the employer? I want to know who's the employer, what his position, what's his name. So that is what Krishna is going to give us in chapter 4. This chapter 4 provides this knowledge. Okay. Okay, so this is also called Jnana Yoga. Okay, Jnana means knowledge, yeah. And there are three main things that we will cover here. The history of Gita. Remember, we need to know why why we must accept Gita, why Gita is very relevant. The knowledge in Gita, why is it relevant? Because who gave it? Is because the provider, the giver of the knowledge. And then Krishna talks about his descent, his birth, his appearances, disappearances, activities, reasons, when he comes, all that he will cover here. And then finally, the need of approaching a guru. Why do we need to approach a guru? What kind of guru we approach? What is our duty? What is our attitude? So all this will be covered here. Okay, so we want to compare. Previously, we covered this many 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 slokas. We have additional 7 slokas here, 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so this is called going deeper. So the first few slokas here, I may have to rush through because they are revisions. All right. So first we will learn some knowledge about Krishna. Okay, how it is given through discipline succession, Krishna's form, appearance, and activities, and what is the goal of the knowledge? What is the benefit that we have by getting this knowledge? Everybody wants to know, right? What is the benefit of me doing this? So Krishna gives this goal of knowledge. And with this knowledge, how do we apply this in our daily life? Okay, how can we apply this knowledge? Knowing about Krishna, how do you apply this? So Krishna will talk about the 3 modes and 4 divisions. Okay, how is it relevant to us? But it's he even though he performs his duties, but he is above this. All right, and how we are also considered above this. So yeah, we will see that. And then how performing duties in certain way, it can bring us to transcendental platform. Okay, just like this is basically an expansion of chapter 3. Remember, how do you do your duty? With knowledge, you work and surrender the result to Krishna. So that's how. Okay, so you all remember, right? Karma, akarma, vikarma. Okay, so we will touch that. Okay. And ultimately, we want to know how, by obtaining this transcendental knowledge, it destroys all our sinful reactions. Okay. 4.1, Prema Mataji.
Yes, Prima here.
Okay.
Okay. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Haham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manur Ishvakave Bravit.
Nice, Mataji. Carry on.
The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan. And Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ishvaku.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. You recited very beautifully. Okay, so we have covered this in level 1. So if you remember, we have talked about how many millions of years ago, how Krishna first given it to the sun god. So for your information, sun god is a position. Okay, the sun god's name that we currently have is Vivasvan. All right, just like Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, these are all positions. So one who advances in their yoga process, they can also attain these positions, but it's a very, very, very elevated position. Okay, so Krishna is saying that this knowledge is not the first time I'm giving you. It's very, very ancient. So I given this to Vivaswan. And Vivaswan, for information, the Lord Rama comes from this dynasty. So it's a very powerful lineage. Okay, why Krishna is has given Bhagavad Gita to such a personality, we will see. Okay, what is the significance of that? Okay, and why again Krishna spoke to Arjuna 5,000 years ago? Because just like now, lots of translation and interpretation has come in. So those days, the information has also been diluted. Of course, later Krishna will provide the reason why he has to come again. Okay, so this all will work hand in hand together, all this information. Okay, so this Bhagavad Gita is particularly given for royal order. Why? Because with this knowledge, the kings are expected to rule the citizens and protect them from material bondage. Okay, the bondage to lust. So how the people are bound by this. So this is meant for the king to give this information to his subjects, to impart Krishna consciousness and value of human life to citizens by education, culture, and devotion. So all these are covered by Bhagavad Gita. So thus, who's the current descendant? I'm not so sure, Mataji. If you are there, you can advise. I'm not so sure about that. Okay, so this will help the subjects to pursue a successful path of human life. Okay. Okay, we will move to 4 point. Okay, yeah, so this actually, the summum bonum of this sloka is knowing about ancient history of Bhagavad Gita. 4.2 will be Saras Mataji. Mataji, you are there?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna Mataji. Carry on.
Gita 4.2. Evam parampara pratam imam rajasayo vido sakalinaha mahata yogo nasta param tapa. Translation: this supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplined succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
All right, thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so the importance of this sloka is how, like I mentioned earlier, Krishna has given this knowledge to kings. So the saintly king understood it in that way. Which way? Through the chain of disciplic succession. So in due course, the succession was broken. So there is a need for Krishna to come and give that. Okay. So what happens if the knowledge is not followed through a parampara? Okay, whimsical interpretation is going to cause confusion, and along the way it will dissipate the value, and for no one's benefit, or not for general benefit. Maybe it will be a self-interest, based on self-interest. So we don't want that. We don't want individual opinion to dilute the substance of knowledge that presented by Bhagavad Gita. Okay, just like people using God's property to make money. Yeah, this is all the non-favorable spirit to learn Bhagavad Gita, to not to follow parampara, using whimsical interpretation. The value is dissipated, diluted, using God's property to make money. And then using it as a philosophical speculation, using Bhagavad Gita to present their own theories of philosophy. This is Prabhupada explains, it's simply a waste of time. So it's like not to accept Krishna based on its authority and concoct something about Krishna, and by using the knowledge that's given by Krishna. So I've also seen people where they say, eventually Krishna will tell in chapter 18, surrender unto me. So the person interpreted as, oh, Krishna is not saying surrender unto him, but he says surrender unto the self inside Krishna. Okay, because in the beginning I've attended so many Bhagavad Gita classes before I finally arrived here. So it left me very confused. Why is it not straightforward? In Bhagavad Gita, things are given straightforward, but people interpret it and confuse us further. So we have to be very careful. Okay, so that's another thing we can apply for this edition, this Bhagavad Gita as it is edition. We can also apply this concept here, because most of the present editions are not according to authorized disciplic succession. Like I said, people use their own interpretation. So there is a need of an edition in line with the parampara. So therefore, Prabhupada, without giving his own opinion, he is giving the knowledge that came from his guru, from his guru. Okay, so this way the original purpose of Bhagavad Gita is revived. Okay, if you can see, the whole list is here. Previously, I think somebody has shared, so I decided to put it here. Okay, so we move on fast. Okay, this is the essence of this sloka, is discipline succession. Okay, all right, so we can ask, why Guru Parampara? Why Guru Parampara? Padma Purana said, one must receive his mantras from one of these bona fide sampradaya. So Mataji, if you all remember, there were 4 sampradayas that we covered in level 1. So I'm not repeating that, but do you all remember what are those 4 sampradayas? Anybody remember? You can just put in the chat box. Okay, so receiving mantra from a guru who is not from these 4 sampradayas will not give okay, you see here. Okay, yeah, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so one who wants to advance in spiritual power, one must receive his mantra from one of these bona fide sampradayas. Otherwise, he will never successfully advance in spiritual life. So explanation was given that mantra that is coming outside of these sampradayas is will not have potency. So even though you chant any mantras, all right, from these 4 out of these 4 sampradaya, will not have potency. So we don't want to waste our precious life and time doing something that is not prescribed, has not come through parampara, because Krishna already established the importance of having a knowledge, applying knowledge. It has to come through parampara. So therefore, it is important. We need to know, who are we associating with? Where are we taking the mantra from? Okay, so this is where the Padma Purana explains the importance of using this, receiving knowledge through paramparas. Okay, so this is Narada Muni, this is Vyasadeva. Okay, so this is an additional information which was not given in level 1. Okay, a quick recap. So what we saw here is transcendental knowledge about Krishna. We saw the ancient origins of Bhagavad Gita and the qualification to receive. Okay, 4.3 we did not cover. I can just read out to you what is the qualification for somebody to receive this knowledge. The very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because, okay, these are the 2 qualifications. Because you are my devotee as well as my friend, devotee and as well as my friend, and therefore can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So Krishna has given here the qualifications of the receiver in a friendly manner. Okay, so we have learned the tradition of this. Okay, why I mentioned earlier, learning the tradition of this knowledge will give Arjuna faith in what he is hearing. Actually, it goes to us also. We want to know why Bhagavad Gita is so special. So Krishna established is the way we receive this. Like I said, whether the book has been used by our reliable authorities. Okay, and this will establish this is a precursor to Krishna's revelation of his transcendental nature. So Krishna is going to say what kind of author he is. He's going to tell that. Okay, so we move on to 4.4. Okay, we have the sloka available. Anybody would like to recite?
Hello, Mataji. I'll read.
Oh, yeah. You are right. Forgot Mataji. Meena Mataji. Carry on.
Bhagavad Gita 4.5. Arjuna Vacha Abaram Bhavato Janma Param Janma Visvasvatah Kadam Et Vijamiyam Swamadav Pragatha Vaniti. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed these signs to him?
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for coming in time to help us.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So Arjuna is asking a question here. Hey, Krishna, you are my contemporary. You are my cousin. How can you instruct this to Vivaswan, who is much older to me? Okay, so this one we already covered in level 1. So this is actually to establish Krishna's nature here. This is, like I said earlier, this is a precursor to Krishna's revelation of his transcendental nature. So to set a scene for Krishna to give more knowledge, so Arjuna is putting this question. This is also to defy demonic or atheistic people who say that Krishna is ordinary, or Krishna just appeared at certain point of time and then he dies after a certain point of time. So now Arjuna wants Krishna to tell himself this information. He wants Krishna to speak authoritatively. Okay. So what is the benefit of Krishna speaking? Why Arjuna did not accept it or declare it, the supremacy of Krishna by himself? Why Arjuna didn't do it? Because Krishna's speech is auspicious for the whole world. Okay, when he speaks, it's auspiciousness. Devotees heartily welcome and worship such statements. Okay, devotees are always eager to hear more and more about Krishna. So they want to hear it from Krishna. And also, Arjuna wants these people to know that Krishna is superhuman, not ordinary. He's transcendental and he's above modes, time, and space. Okay, but he's not asking in a challenging way. How can it possible, Krishna? He never asked like that. He asking, how am I to understand this? He's asking in a nice way. So here Arjuna is setting an example. How do we put forth a question when you have doubt? Okay, he's asking. He said, yes, this is a valid doubt, isn't it? Sun God is senior to you. How can you? How do I understand this? That you have instructed this to him. Okay. So Arjuna's questions are always for us. It's not that he doesn't know. He did not know. He's the associate of the Lord. So the question is for us. So that was his doubt. And then Krishna explains. 4.5. Anybody would like to recite? Let me see. We have a newcomer today. Amita Mataji, do you want to recite? Amita Mataji, you're there? How about Jay Sangaran Mataji? Oh, okay. I think she said she's not available. Jagadish Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Help us.
Okay. Alright, Bhagavad Gita 4.5. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni Vidyatitani Janmani Tava Arjuna. That part I'm not sure.
Tani Aham. You together.
Veda Sarvani Na
Natvam Veda Param Tapa.
Good,
The
Mataji.
Trinity of Godhead said, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. Hope subdue of the enemy.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. Well done. So don't worry. This sloka recitation is not as important as understanding the information. So don't worry. This is not sloka class. Actually, there's a proposal by the management that we might have a workshop on sloka recitation, japa workshop, so that kind of things. So if we are interested, then we can join that. All right, here. So Arjuna posed the question, how am I to understand Krishna? The sun god is senior to you by birth. Then Krishna says, Krishna explains, sorry. So here Krishna explains the difference. He talks about his appearance and disappearance, and that his appearance and disappearance is different between Jiva and him. Okay, his appearance and disappearance is different from us. Okay, how? He explains that his form is eternal. Okay, here he says, he's indicating that his form is eternal, unborn, and never dies. Just like the sun, if you see the picture here, the sun rises and sets. Okay, sunrise, sunset, but that doesn't mean the sun is not there. Okay, it's just in the manifested form or unmanifested form. So like that, Krishna is always there. When he wants to come, he will come. Okay, so and how does he come? Does he come because there's some karma reactions upon him, just like us? We are also taking birth because of our karmic reactions. So Krishna say, out of my own will, I'm coming out of my own will. I am the control of the karma. Karma doesn't control me. So like that, Krishna also say the difference between us and him, that we cannot remember our previous births. Okay, but he can remember his previous appearances. He says, my birth and death are not like yours. Okay, in 4.6, which is we are not covering, that Krishna will say, I appear in my original transcendental form, which is unborn and never dies. Okay, this is a subsequent sloka to this. We are not covering this, so I'm just mentioning the sloka here. I appear in my original transcendental form, which is unborn and never dies. I appear by my own will. So here you can bring in the sloka to show that we are bound by karma, but Krishna is not bound by karma. And that is why another one is that he remembers his appearances, but not us. Okay. 4 point. Okay, so this is the point from this sloka. Okay, so just a quick recap. Now, like this is the doubt that Arjuna posed. He asked how Krishna, born as son of Devaki, instead of Vivaswan, who is millions of years older. Okay, so in 4.4, that was the doubt. That's the doubt. And to answer the doubt in 4.4, Krishna gives explanation here that he is taking birth out of his own will, and his form is not like us. All right, my birth and death are not like yours. My transcendental form, which is unborn and never dies, I appear by my own will. So this is 4.6. Okay, so we cover 4.5. Okay, so next we move to 4.7. We also have this sloka available. Anybody? Chandra Mataji? Would you like to?
Prabha, you asked me? Chandra Prabha.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Yada yada hi dharmasya
Glanir.
glanir bhavati bharata apyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajam aham. Sajmi aham.
Sajami aham.
Sajam aham. Whenever there is a decline in the religious practice or descendant of Bharata and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself.
Yes, thank you so much, Mataji. So you can see this one picture here. This is Lord Ram. He is killing demon Ravan. Here Krishna is fighting King Kamsa, demon kings. Okay, so whenever there is a decline in religious practice and rise in irreligion, at that time he descends himself. So Krishna here is giving reasons for his appearance. Okay, so this is where we come to the understanding of his nature. Earlier we looked at his nature, that his body is transcendental, that he appears out of his own will. So why exactly he comes, and he provides the reason here. Generally, when the rise in irreligion and the decline in religion practice, he comes. So Bhavati and Srijami, here I highlighted, it means manifest, means he's not born like us. It's not called birth for him. His appearance, he manifests, he's always there. It's just that he manifests and unmanifests according to his own will. Okay, so it's different from Jivatma, whereas Jivatma, we are here to enjoy. We enjoy without knowing how to distinguish right versus wrong. And then along the process, we make lots of mistakes. And these are the mistakes that can lead us into sinful acts. Okay, so which will give us sinful reactions. So what is that call when we have sinful reactions to our actions? It starts with V. Do you all remember? Actually, I mentioned this earlier also. What is that? There are 3 types, right, karma? So the one with the bad actions, bad reactions, what is it called? Yes, vikarma. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, thanks. Yeah, so because of the vikarma, okay, so good, Mataji, you all remember already. Okay, so we are bound to the vikarma. So when this vikarma keeps happening, and it's like, how do you say, it becomes bigger, and like a snowball, becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, it will cause dharma to decline. Dharma to decline, adharma to rise. So Krishna appears to rectify that. So he does this small resets when he comes yuga by yuga, from time to time. Then at the end of the yuga, he does the big overhaul. Okay, so we move to 4.8 to understand in more detail why actually he comes. Tamare Mataji.
I can hear?
Yes, Mataji, clear.
Give me a minute. All right, Bhagavad Gita 4.8. Paritranam maya sadhunam vinashaya cha daskatram dharmasam
Duskritam, yes. Yeah.
duskritam dharma samtapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreant, as well as to re-establish the principle of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, Krishna comes in a he does small resets, yuge. So here he mentions yuge means millennium after millennium. So if you see in Satya Yuga, he's taken a couple of incarnations, and then there's Treta Yuga, he takes a couple of incarnations, and then Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga, he will come again at the end of the Kali Yuga. Okay, so like that he comes to annihilate miscreants, to deliver the pious, to re-establish the principle of religion. So quickly we will go one by one. Who are these pious people? These are the devotees who have surrendered to Krishna, who are Krishna conscious. All right. The miscreants, those who does not care for Krishna, who are envious. Okay. And to re-establish principles of religion. Okay. How exactly does Krishna re-establishes the principle of religion? By giving knowledge, such as this. Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so Krishna is too powerful to come down to fight with the demons. He has so many agents. If he wants, he can just send an agent to vanquish demons. But the topmost reason that he comes is, like I say, he can save anybody. All right, with his agent, he can vanquish the demons by sending the agents. Okay, and he can send his representatives to re-establish the... Yes, Mataji. So, yeah, I'm so happy to invite you. Come. Okay, so how does he re-establish? He can send his agents, also his empowered followers, empowered representatives to come and re-establish. But for devotee, they will be only satisfied when Krishna comes and communicates with them, reciprocates. So actually he comes to do that. He comes to mitigate anxieties of pure devotee who are anxious to see his Vrindavana pastimes. So that one only Krishna can fulfill. Okay, no, he's not his agents. Okay, so why? So you can see the pious people, they don't actually need Krishna to come and materially deliver them. The devotee with their consciousness, how they do their work, how they go about their life, they are actually considered delivered. Okay, so they are above that three modes already. They are already on transcendental platform because the way they do their work, their consciousness in such a way. Okay, so what need is there for Krishna to come? And then the previous acharyas also explained that a devotee does not require material deliverance. He is anxious, however, to see the Supreme Lord and his loving pastimes. So the Lord comes mainly to exchange loving pastimes with his devotees. So this sloka can be very powerful and also can be very sweet. Okay. So conclusion is, when Krishna comes, what does he do? So this is our understanding on these two slokas. So a quick recap. So we have covered this 4.1 origins and then Arjuna's doubts leading to Krishna explaining his divinity, his birth and form. And we just saw about Krishna speaking about his activities, why he come, when does he come, okay? Whenever there is decline in religion and rise in irreligion. So a more detailed reason is annihilate demons, deliver devotees, re-establish principles of religion. Okay, this is the when and whys. All right, 4.9. Also, we have available. Yes, Mataji, please.
Janma karma chame divyam evam yo viti tatvataha yaktadeham punar janma naiti mam iti so Arjuna. One knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so that's our new friend who came join our class. So we have two new friends, Loga Ranjini Mataji and Amita Mataji. So thank you, Mataji. Okay, so why Krishna is telling us all this about his birth, activities, reason for appearance? Is there any benefit for us? Yes, this is the goal. The benefit for us to know this, okay, I will list down later in the next slide. So for now, Krishna is explaining, liberation of living entity from material bondage is not very easy. Okay, so there are two paths that are possible. So if you have noticed, there are two paths like impersonalism and yoga, or the path of devotion, path of devotees. So how to distinguish these two paths? The path of impersonalists and yogis it requires a lot of endeavor. It's not very easy, and you may find perfection after many births. Okay, and the goal, you need to know the goal by doing this impersonalism at the impersonalism level. It's only partial. They will only attain the realization at Brahma Jyoti level. Okay, so people say, oh, God is Jyoti. No, that's not the end of it. Jyoti is just one aspect of Krishna. Okay, so if you remember, we did this example, a train. Three people comes and then the one person sees, oh, I saw light from the train. Okay, that is God. Okay, bye-bye, I'm going back. And then the two persons stayed on, and one person stayed on to see the engine. Oh, this is God. Okay, done. I met my purpose. Okay, bye-bye, I'm gone. But the last person, he stayed on. He went in to see who is the driver, and then he inquired about the driver. Who are you? What are you doing? When you're coming? Where you're going? So that is the Bhagavan realization. So the path of impersonalities is difficult. Of course, Krishna said, at the end, he will achieve me. Later, he will say, in later chapters, at the end, he will Eventually he will come to me. But better than this is the devotion, because there is a danger in this path. In the Brahman level, there is a risk of falling down, because at Brahman level, there is no reciprocation with Krishna for you to understand Krishna at Bhagavan level. Okay, so we cover this in level 1, so I will not go detail into that. Now the conclusive suggestion is, by knowing, simply by knowing the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, here Krishna already gave the shortcut. Just by knowing this, one who leaves this material world will attain my eternal abode. So we just have to cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and by doing that we attain perfection. So what is the benefit? The benefit is, remember him throughout his nature and activities. Throughout our life, we remember his nature, his activities, everything about him, his pastimes. So this way, just like we are studying for exam, isn't it? So our final exam is our death. So if you have studied very well, you will be able to answer the exam. So if you have not studied very well, it's very difficult to pass. All right. So this will help us to remember Krishna at the time of death. If we don't study, we will not remember anything at the time of exam. So we have to remember that is that final exam. Okay. Moving on. 4.10. Also, I need somebody to read for me, please. Yashoda Mai Mataji, are you able to read for me, for us? Can Mataji? Are you okay?
Vitaraka payakrota manmaya mam upasitaha bhavo janata pasa utamat bhava akataha. Being free from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain transcendental love for me.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So these are the goals. Okay. Earlier, these 2 slokas, they touch on goals. Okay. All right. So I will move on to this one to give a summary. Okay, what is that knowledge and what is that goal? So in 4.5 and 4.6, you remember, right? Krishna has given information about his birth, nature, activities. Okay, and this one is his activities, 4.7 and 4.8. So what is that goal? The goal is this: to be absorbed in Krishna, to become purified. All this knowledge, right? You have this knowledge. So what is the purpose? This is the purpose: to be absorbed in Krishna. Remember when I said you have to apply this knowledge throughout your life. So the end, to remember Krishna, you need this. So how? Here, to be absorbed in Krishna, you become purified, free from attachment, fear and anger, attain love for Krishna. Finally, go back to Krishna, to his transcendental abode. Therefore, there won't be rebirth in material world. Okay, so 4.9 to 4.10, 4.9, 4.10, right? Those who understands me, those who knows about my nature. And then these are all the symptoms of the person. He's freed from attachment. A person who knows this message about Krishna, information about Krishna, knowledge about Krishna. What are the symptoms? Free from attachment, fear and anger, fully absorbed, take refuge in me, he becomes purified, and he attains the transcendental love. So this is a quick summary on that. Okay. All right, here I would like to expand this part here. To be absorbed in Krishna, how exactly being absorbed in Krishna help us to become purified, help us to free ourselves from attachment, attain love for Krishna. So I would like to share with you a short story. Hopefully it's short. Okay, so I would like to talk about this great personality. His name is Haridas Thakur. So he's always depicted with the chanting, okay. So he's a combined incarnation of Lord Brahma and Prahlad Maharaj. And he's given the name Namacharya. Why Namacharya? Namacharya actually, how is it defined? It's a person who most exemplifies how to best chant the holy name of Krishna. Okay, so it is said that when we have difficulties in chanting, we pray to our previous acharya, those who have been exemplary in chanting with full absorption. We take their blessings. So with that, we can do our chanting better. So even I do that. Sometimes you're so disturbed, right? You just have to pray to these acharyas. It will help. Okay, just try it. Okay, and he also propagated loud chanting. All right, so he was born in a place called Navadvip. So Navadvip was full of gross materialists and worshippers. But this particular set of brahmanas, they were doing lots of karma kanda activities. Okay, so they were chanting, but they had a problem with this Haridas Thakur. So they said they forbid loud chanting by the Vaishnavas on the basis that it might awaken Lord Vishnu, who would become angry and curse Navadvip with a famine. So this is kind of impression they will give upon people when Haridas Thakur was doing loud chanting. But it was Haridas' habit to loudly chant Hare Krishna while he chants at the bank of Ganges. So every day he will chant 192 rounds, which actually brings to 300,000 holy names of Krishna. So even one time, one Brahmana challenged Haridas Thakur. He said the proper method to chant Hare Krishna is silently within one's mind. And then Haridas Thakur quoted Srimad Bhagavatam and Narada Purana. He said, loud chanting of Krishna's names gives 100 times more result than silent chanting. Okay, he quoted the sloka, Yan Nama Grihan Akilan, Srotam Atmanam Evacha Sadhya Punati. So translation is, anyone who chants your name purifies all who hear his chanting, as well as himself. Two birds in a stone. So Haridas concluded, so which is better, my dear Brahmana, to feed yourself and simultaneously feed 1,000 others. Okay, so that's how he substantiated the loud chanting. So the loud chanting propagated by him. Okay, that's how he chants loudly. So it seems like he chants a few thousands of holy names silently, and few thousands of names slightly audible, and few thousands very loud. Okay, that's how he did chanting that time. Okay, so what happens one time is he faced fierce opposition from Muslim. Yeah, I forgot to mention that he was a born Muslim. And then when he started associating with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started taking up this chanting. So the Muslim ruler, they don't like that a Muslim is chanting the holy names. So he devised a plan to deviate him from his religious vows. So he called many prostitutes because he tried many other ways. He couldn't distract. So that's how he resorted to this final plan. And then, so one prostitute would say, okay, I shall attract the mind of Haridas Thakur within 3 days. Just give me 3 days. So she started visiting Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur will say, okay, I understand your need, but I have taken a vow to finish certain number of names. I need to finish this. If once I finish, then I will satisfy you. You just sit here and just listen, just sit here and wait. I will do that. So he couldn't finish, and he said, I'm so sorry, I couldn't finish it today. Could you come tomorrow? Once I finish, I will satisfy your needs. So the second day also comes. And again, he will say, I'm so sorry again, I couldn't finish. I need one more day. Then she started coming like this 3 days. But along the process, this prostitute had change of heart hearing Haridas Thakur's chanting. So it's very, very very purifying to hear a pure devotee's chanting, like how we in the beginning of the class I played Prabhupada's chanting. So these are very, very good vibration, transcendental vibration. It can have change of heart. So what happens is prostitute, she started have a change of heart. She started listening, and she started chanting. Then finally she will apologize to Haridas Thakur. Dear Haridas Thakur, I was sent by this Muslim ruler to deviate you from your religious vow. Then Haridas Thakur will say, yes, actually I know this is the plan, but I want to change your heart. Okay, I want to show the glories of the holy name, how being absorbed in this holy name can have a change of heart, can purify one. And then their relationship changed. She accepted him as guru and he accepted as a disciple. She bowed her head and she stayed in his ashram doing all the worships, chanting. And what happens after that? Okay, yeah, so this is the illustration. So as soon as she controlled her senses, the symptoms of love of God appeared in her. In this way, the prostitute became a famous devotee. She became very advanced in spiritual life and many great devotees would visit her. So this is an example how the very people think, oh, I'm so sinful, how can I take up this path? But this is a very good example how a sinful person can have a change of heart and can advance in spiritual life. Okay. So generally, the purifications or the advancement in spiritual life goes on this kind ladder, the steps. So there are 9 steps here. The first, it starts with faith. Everybody wants to have faith first. If you do not have faith in something, it's very difficult for you to progress further. So once you have this faith, then you want to associate with the devotees. Okay. And then you, with the association of devotees, with the guidance of devotees, you will perform various devotional service. If you remember, out of many devotional service, 9 were main. Okay, it starts with, can anybody tell me the first 3? Let's see. Matajis? The most important 3. We are all doing that now. Yes, Sravanam. And then, so you are doing Sravanam, you are hearing. Okay. Then what I am doing? Kirtanam. Yes, Saras Mataji is Smaranam. Smaranam means remembrance. Okay, so with the association of devotees, you will do this performance devotion service. And then when you continuously doing this, when you continuously do this, engage in that, you will have decreased level of unwanted attachments. So remember, I always say it is not practical for you to stop doing something. Krishna never say we should renounce something, because that will be artificial, because the mind will still dwell on sense objects. What do is you remove that attachment from this one to Krishna, to all this, to Krishna. You just transfer your attachment. So by that you will have steadiness. When you keep doing this, there will be steadiness, and then you will get taste. Okay, then you will have attachment, then there is love, and there is pure love. So most of us will be here for anartha nivritti, decreasing of unwanted attachments. So it's a long way to go for me. Okay, but as long you're on this one of these steps, then your path is certain. Okay, result is guaranteed. Okay, so quick recap. We have covered these 4 sections here under this first topic. 4.9 to 4.10, Krishna spoke about the goal of the transcendental knowledge. What is the point? What is the purpose of having all this knowledge? Okay, so Krishna said there are 2 parts of yoga. Out of that, devotion path is easier, okay, compared to the impersonalism. Being absorbed in Krishna is better than just knowledge of Krishna or knowledge about soul and body. Okay, just having the knowledge is not sufficient. With that knowledge, we have to be absorbed in Krishna. And then we cover different stages of bhakti. All right, so we move on to 4.13. This is also a revision sloka. Vimala Mataji. Okay, Vimala Mataji, can't see Mataji here. Anybody would like to replace Vimala Mataji? Ajita Mataji, would you like to?
Okay.
Can I? Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita 4.13. I'll continue.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Chaturvarnyam shratam guna karma vibhagasha tasya kartaram apimam Vidya Kartaram according to three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created. You should know, you should now, oh no, sorry, you should know that I am yet. Mataji, I'm a bit confused here.
Yes, Mataji.
Do you mind if I ask a few questions?
Yes, yes, yes.
So basically, what Krishna? Basically, Krishna is saying that he is the creator. Okay, that I understand.
Okay.
But what does it mean by unchangeable?
Unchangeable.
That means he doesn't shift. I didn't get that. See, according to three modes of material nature, the word associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me.
Okay.
And although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable.
Okay.
Hey, I think I remember reading about this.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. So Krishna here explains that, remember his activities that he's taking birth again, but that is according to his own will. However, we are taking birth again because our karmic reactions. So Krishna said he set up this system where people can engage in doing their work based on their nature. So generally people tend to have three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So based on how the modes work for them, they will be engaged in particular nature of work. So Krishna set this varnasrama. Remember, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudras. Okay, so based on their nature, they will engage in their duty. So this done for elevation of people from being very attached to doing work for material enjoyment. Okay, according to your nature, you engage in that work. So while doing that work, you surrender to the result. You detach yourself from the result. So that way you will elevate for self-realization. Okay. All right. So I won't go detail on that. But Krishna say, I created this. Even though I created this, so therefore I am above this. So these modes of material nature and these four division is not applicable to me. Even though I seem to be doing duties based on my roles, I'm just doing it to show examples. Okay, to set the example. So I am above this. Okay, so nobody can tell Krishna, oh Krishna, you put me in this situation. Because of this, I am doing this acts and it binds me. No, Krishna has given us the freedom. Okay, he's given us the freedom to do what we like, and he has given also the knowledge how we should do it. So we are entangled because of our own choice. Okay, so therefore Krishna is saying, I am the non-doer. I provide this. I provide the freedom for you. Like a father brings the child to a playground. Okay, you play. So if the child falls down because he left the hand of the father, he cannot say, oh father, you brought me to this playground. Why did you take me to the playground? If you didn't bring me to the playground, I wouldn't have fallen. I wouldn't have gotten hurt. No, dear, I am taking you so that you wanted to enjoy. So you let go of my hand. You wanted to enjoy and then you fell. So I am not the cause. I allowed you, but it was our own doing that we are entangled. Okay. All right. So that is meant for purification and elevation. Okay, moving on to 4.40. So like I given the example, right? The father brings the child to a playground and Krishna allows us to perform our duties. So Krishna, sorry, 4.40, we let out. Ajita Mataji, it's you again. Sorry.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
Did you have time to look at it?
Look at it? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita 4.14. namam karmani limpati name karma falesvraha iti namya bijanati karma virna sabanjate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Well done. Okay, so like I mentioned, Krishna is not responsible for our position, for right and wrong activities that we are engaged in, and therefore he's not. You cannot blame him for that the reactions on us. So Krishna creates, but is unaffected. He is unaffected by the activities of the material world. So living entities are entangled because of the propensity to lord over. We want to lord over the matter. Okay, so there's a jail picture here. So have a small story. This is how we are. Okay, due to our actions, we are put in jail. All right. So and then the king comes to visit. Just because the king comes to visit, he's not a prisoner. The prisoner is bound by the terms in the jail, but when a king comes to visit him, he is not bound by it. Okay, so the prisoner cannot see that the king is behind that bar. He say, "Oh, you are also behind the bar." No. Okay, so just like how Krishna is not affected, how the king is not affected by the terms of the prison. Whoever that comes with him, like the elephant, the minister, the army, they are also not treated as prisoner. They are above that. Okay, so this is the difference. A story of king visits jail. Okay, so we are here because we have done some mistakes. So that doesn't, when Krishna is here, that doesn't mean he also done something and he's bound by those reactions. Okay. So we covered that first 10 slokas about knowledge about Krishna, and just now we have covered how to apply this transcendental knowledge. Krishna mentioned that one engages in particular types of duties based on 3 modes. So if you have a very sattvic nature, then you will be a teacher. If you are very passionate, then you will be a Satriya mode of work, police, those kind of thing. And then if you are very mercantile or business minded, then you are Vaishya. Okay, but anyways, Prabhupada say in Kali Yuga, we are all Sudras. Okay, we are all same level. So by qualities we can elevate ourselves. Okay, not by birth. It is not Janma karma. It is Guna karma. So the caste system that we have right now, it's perverted. How do you say? It's a misinterpretation. It's a wrong conception. That is not what Krishna has established previously. Okay, so and then although Krishna performs his duties, he is transcendental to this mode and system. Okay. All right. So remember, when the king comes with his entourage, the army, the ministers, his elephant, just like how Krishna is above that, those who come with him also above that. They are also not subjected to that. So this is where devotees come in. Krishna and one and Krishna consciousness are both transcendental to all divisions. So this is how you apply the transcendental knowledge, and you will come to the transcendental platform. Okay, so devotee is above this Varnashrama system. 4.18, Apara Mataji.
Good evening, Mataji.
Good evening, Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 4.18. Karmani akarmaya pasyed akarmani ka karmaya he sabuddhiman manusyeshu sayukta krishna karma krite. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Okay, inaction in action. What does that mean? When you act, but you are inact, you are actually not acting. So that is your consciousness. You are doing your duty, But in your consciousness, you are not attached to the results. That is inaction. You are doing action, but you are not doing action. Okay? So freedom from reaction. Okay, freedom from reaction only happens when freedom from action is coming from proper action. Your action, your consciousness, okay, detached. But sinful reaction can result from improper renunciation. Remember in chapter 3, Krishna said, the sinful reaction which you think that you will incur by fighting, you will incur when you are not fighting. So sinful reactions are not committed by not fighting. It's incurred by, no, it's not by fighting. It's not by fighting, right? Do you understand that? You incur sinful reactions by not fighting, not by fighting. So I hope that's clear. Okay. So what is the status of akarma? See here, karmani akarma. It all boils down to for whom you are doing. Okay, so all acts done for Krishna. And what kind of attitude? No desire for sense gratification. We act as eternal servitor. So what is the result? Okay, this is the result. Enjoys transcendental happiness. Okay. So in chapter 3, we did this. Every action we get reactions. But if you work for Krishna, there are no reaction. That is called akarma. So this one we will see more in chapter 5. Okay, these are more expansion. All right. Okay, we move on fast. 4.24. Kanti Mataji.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji can hear.
Bhagavad Gita 4.24. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmakno Brahmana Hutam Brahmaiva Tena Gandavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature.
Thank you, Mataji. I like your recitation. It's very beautiful. Okay. So again, yeah. Okay. So again, it's still touching on the akarma in karma. Inaction in action. So these are absolute quality of a sacrifice performed in Krishna consciousness. Absolute quality. This is the quality. Inaction in action. This is the quality of the activity. Yeah. Okay. So work done based on transcendental knowledge and performed as a sacrifice is along with this result absolute. Your work and your result is on absolute platform because of the consciousness that you have. Okay. Because all work done for Krishna's pleasure produces no karma. So that way it is transcendental. Now the important point here I highlighted here is Brahmarpanam. The word Brahma here is not Lord Brahma, yeah? It's Brahman, spiritual. So the Lord is spiritual and the rays of his transcendental body is called Brahma Jyoti. This is his spiritual effulgence. Brahma Jyoti is also called Hiranmayena Patrena. This is a very nice verse from Isopanishad. Let me bring you there. So I really like this this sloka. This is where the Vedas establishing what is Jyoti with relation to Krishna. So, oh my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Now, this is Hiranmayena. Okay, Hiranmayena means by a golden effulgence. Patrena means by a dazzling covering. Your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. So this is a prayer in Ishopanishad. Okay, consummation here. This material veil, like we saw here in Ishopanishad, this veil can be removed by Krishna consciousness. Okay, thus when you do activities in sacrifice for Krishna, the offering for the sake of Krishna consciousness, the consuming agent, okay, when you sacrifice, there's a consuming agent, right? That consuming agent of such an offering, the process of the consumption, the contributor, the results, these are all combined together. It's called Brahman, the absolute truth. That is Krishna. It's all on the same platform. Okay, when the mind is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, you attain this position, samadhina, a trance. This is absorption. Okay, so the conclusion here is anything done in such transcendental consciousness is called yajna, or sacrifice for the absolute. So this is the new additional sloka for this level 2. So you have known this information here. It's a very nice verse. Your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Hiranmayena patrena. All right. So let's recap that. So we just understood karma on the platform of jnana. Freedom from reaction can result from proper action. Okay, remember? Sinful reactions do not come by fighting, but it comes by not fighting. All right. So reaction, freedom from reaction can result from proper action. And sinful reaction can result from improper renunciation, the artificial renunciation, remember? Okay, now Krishna consciousness is a process of converting illusory consciousness into Brahman. Okay, remember the sloka on the Jyoti. All right. Therefore, acting in pure devotional service is our karma, free from reactions. This is all expansion, more details of what we learned in chapter 3. 4.34. Now we are moving into the importance of Guru. Chandraprabha Mataji.
Okay, good evening, good night. 4.34. Tat Vidi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Tite Jnanam Jnaninas Tattva Darshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so this is the importance of approaching a guru. Why? Because he can impart the knowledge. Why? Because he has seen the truth. So how do I inquire? How do I go about it? Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. So this is a revision. Okay, so basically it speaks about how to receive the knowledge. Okay, so we move on to 35. Indrani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yajnatva punarmoham eva yasashi pandava yena bhutani asesani dragyasya atmani atomai. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So I remember whenever such opportunity arises, I will always ask you, what does actually a guru do? Then you all will answer, he removes illusion. So what is that illusion? Then you all will answer that we are independent enjoyer independent from Krishna, from the Supreme. So this is a sloka that I always try to recall. Okay, so this sloka is talking about what happens when we get knowledge from the self-realized soul. So when you take it from a self-realized soul, you will not fall back into illusion. So that's the whole idea. Okay, illusion is not something that is not real. The world is illusion. It's not true. Okay, If somebody hits you, you feel pain, then it is real. How can it be illusion? The world is real, but it's temporary, right? All the enjoyments are temporary, but it doesn't mean it's not real. The illusion is that we are the enjoyer, we are the controller, we are on our own. Okay. So I'm not the spiritual master here, but we can take you to a spiritual master. We have mentor systems and stuff like that. Association of devotees is important to progress on this path. So this is the benefit of getting knowledge, okay, from a self-realized soul, because he has seen the truth. Okay, but Mataji, I've done a lot of crimes. I have a lot of sinful reactions, activities. Am I eligible for this? Will Krishna show his mercy on me? Because I'm too sinful, right? So this verse gives a solace as 4.36, also available for anybody to recite. Anybody? Jai Sitarani Mataji, are you able to? Pushpa Mataji? Jai Sitarani Mataji, okay, can. Louder Mataji, we can't hear you.
असि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापाकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव विचित्तं सन्तरिष्यसि. Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so even worse sinners, what do? We just sit on the boat. Let the boat take us on this material ocean, in this material ocean of misery. So just have to sit, just buy the ticket and just sit on it. Okay, have a good captain, spiritual master, and he will take us across. Not on the strength of this, Mataji. That means whatever you have done in the past, you have come to a repentant mood, and then you take up this path, then it will relieve you from the karmic reactions. Because if you're going to go back to the sinful activities, it's just like how elephant comes out from water and then it puts the sand on the body, so it's pointless. Right? Yeah. So the repentation must be like forever. That's it, full stop. Okay, so there is a chance for you, future for you. Okay, so what are the benefits when you're seated on this? Then, if you're properly seated here, this will answer your question, Mataji. You will avoid sinful activities. Okay, you will not go back. How? You will engage your senses and your limbs in devotion service. Okay, so when you dedicate your time and energy for this, how can you, the least likely, not likely, you're going to go back to that sinful activities. But if at all you're going to go back, then this is like bringing in the story of the elephant taking a bath. Okay. 4.39, Jagadish Mataji. This is our last sloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, sloka 39. Sradave lavati jananam tatpara samyatindriya jnanam latvave param shantim achirenti gacchate. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace.
Thank you, Mataji. So, who can get the knowledge? Okay, a faithful man who subdues his senses. So, with faith, we can come to Krishna consciousness. Once receive the knowledge, it will take us on the platform and act accordingly. Okay, we cannot, like, I'm going back to the Kanti Mataji's question. So you cannot wait, let me finish all my sinful actions and then I will come to surrender. But what is assurance? What assurance is there that we even know? I mean, do we know how long we're going to live? Right? It's a very basic concept, isn't it? We don't know what future holds for us. Nobody knows when we're going to die. So based on urgency, we come to the surrender mode. And after that, the boat of knowledge will take us across the ocean of material miseries. And what kind of person can properly benefit from here, from this process, is a faithful man who's dedicated to transcendental knowledge. Like you all are dedicated coming. I know some of you are not well. Some of you have had gas. Some of you are actually outside, but you are still in this class. I know who you are. So I really appreciate that you have that faith, and then you subdue the senses to acquire this knowledge. Okay, so not everybody can do that. All right. So I just read this one for you. One is called a faithful man who thinks that simply by acting in Krishna consciousness, he can attain the highest perfection. So who can get the knowledge? A faithful person who subdues his senses. So once receive the knowledge, it will take us on the platform and act accordingly. We will be guided. Okay. Okay, so we have covered this one, the last section. Transcendental knowledge destroys sinful reactions. How? Let's just buy the ticket and sit on the boat, the transcendental boat, and that will take us. So yeah, I will just recap this. One who is faithful with dedication and sense control. Okay, three things here. One who is faithful with dedication and sense control. When he acquires knowledge from a guru, who is a bona fide guru from bona fide sampradaya. So this one I'm bringing in the first sloka, all right? And how? By inquiry, submission, and service. Okay, he will obtain the knowledge and realization that all living entities are part of Brahman. So this is where the guru comes and removes the illusion that we are not individual. I mean the individual as in we are not an individual enjoyer. With such vision, one will never fall into illusion. This is the magic that the guru will do. So by that knowledge, you will cross over the ocean of miseries, even if you are the most sinful of all sinners. So all sinful reactions are burnt when we perform devotional service. Okay, right. So I will do a quick recap here. I have no time to ask you all questions because it's already 9 o'clock. So if you remember, we covered knowledge about Krishna, and we knew the origin of Bhagavad Gita, qualification of receiver. Remember, a friendly person, right? A devotee and a friendly person. And then the importance of discipline succession, how important is to receive a mantra, a knowledge from a guru in a bona fide sampradaya. And one who knows the birth and activities of Krishna is liberated. So this is the benefit, right? And then how do we apply this knowledge? We have this knowledge that we are functioning under the three modes of material nature. And according to this three modes of material nature, we are engaging in certain types of duties. However, even though Krishna allows it, even though Krishna set the system, Krishna and one is in Krishna consciousness are both transcendental to all divisions. All right, there are no reactions. And then work in knowledge. Karma in jnana, that is the term, right? It allows us to function on akarma. It doesn't give us reactions, it's akarma. How? Seeing action in inaction and inaction in action. So this is all about setting our consciousness, okay, whether we are attached to the results or not. So you do your duty, but on your consciousness level, you are not attached to the results. So that is action in inaction, okay. Transcendental knowledge destroys sinful reactions. So you remember how the boat takes us, right? There's a need for guru. What kind of guru? Who comes from bona fide sampradaya. Okay, what we need to do to get the knowledge. Okay, render service, inquire submissively. And that way we will be situated in this boat of knowledge. It saves one from miseries and it destroys sinful reactions. Okay, to reinforce the understanding today, this is a quick story. Okay, so there was a Brahmana named Tapan Misra. He was confused after reading many Vedic literatures regarding their conclusion on the means to achieve liberation. So like many of us,
We want to read about how to attain liberation. So much of knowledge, so much of literature, so much of scriptures. So he approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and sincerely inquired him to clear his confusion. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, in Kali Yuga, one can't achieve perfection of life by being a bookworm. Okay? One can attain salvation only by chanting the holy names of Krishna. This is the lift compared to steps. Slowly, right? You have to go to karma yoga, and then you have to do jnana yoga, and then you have to do dhyana yoga, and finally you achieve Brahman. But there's a shortcut. So the shortcut here, Mahaprabhu says, so don't worry, don't waste time being a bookworm. You can just achieve the same result by chanting the holy names of Krishna. You can have the knowledge to substantiate what we are doing, but that's not all about it. Knowledge is important because if the knowledge can help you in being absorbed in Krishna, you will get purified. You will achieve the result. So the Sastras recommend Hare Nama. This is a very famous verse. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, Kalau nasti eva, nasti eva gadir anyataha. Translation: in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. So it is mentioned that whatever you mention 3 times is very, very, very strong. So that's why there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. Chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name. There's no other way. Okay? So the kits are still available. Those who have not have any Bhagavad Gita on your own. Okay, so that's it. 907. I'm sorry, overshot a little bit. Thank you so much. Are there any questions? All right, thank you, Mataji. Yes, Jagati's Mataji. So we need to have faith in Krishna, in the knowledge, right? Okay, right. So yes. Thank you, Matajis. I don't want to keep you all longer unless you have questions. Thank you, Logaranjani Mataji.
I have a question, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
But it's not relating to the chapter,